Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you, friends. How are you doing out there? It's so good to see you. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Mary. Hi, Dawn. Laura is here. Leah is here. Hi. I hope you guys are having a good day and that the weather is nice. I see that it is beautiful in Washington and rainy in South Florida. Today, here in Tennessee, at least where I am in Tennessee, it is sunny and hot. It's not crazy hot, but it's sunny and hot. And I gotta say, I kind of wish it would rain a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but we could definitely use a little bit of rain just to kind of cool things off and to water the plants a little bit. Things are starting to get a little dry around here. We have these afternoon thunderstorms, that just kind of blow in and might rain for a few minutes, but that's it. It's really just not enough to water things. So then I have to water things. I'm really bad about watering things. So ultimately, I don't think I need rain. I just need a gardener. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Oh, Ginger says it's very hot in Missouri. I bet. I bet. Oh my goodness. Everybody's here. Hi, Sabrina. All right. So, guys, let's get into it, shall we? Susie is here. Okay, it is that time of the month again where we do bargain bead box, and I was really excited about this one because I always love bargain bead box, but I really loved this shipment for June. I always get really excited about like ocean themed, beach themed, those kinds of jewelry palettes and collections, if you will. And so I was looking forward to seeing what they were going to do for the summertime boxes. And I was not disappointed with this one at all. I think it is a lot of fun. And it's got me on a treasure hunt, which is kind of funny considering the name of this box, but it's got me on a treasure hunt for some sea glass. I would love to have some more sea glass beads in my life, and it is all because of this box. So now, before I get into all of that, let's talk about Bargain Bead Box, because for those of you who don't know about Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly subscription service, and it is beads and findings and goodies that comes to you once a month. It's a curated collection, and it is right around the $20 mark. It is not very expensive at all. It is one of the most inexpensive of the bead subscription services that is out there, and the value is wonderful for its price point. It is amazing. I've been a subscriber to Bargain Bead Box for years, and I've never been disappointed from the very beginning. I have never, ever been disappointed. Now, that's not to say that I don't sometimes get a color palette that makes me uncomfortable, that I'm not super thrilled with. Like they're not colors that I would choose, but I always use those opportunities I always use those as an opportunity to grow as a designer, because it makes me think outside of my comfort zone, outside of the box, and it really kind of stretches me creatively. And I love that. So, as much as I love to get a box like I got this month, that I love everything in it, I also love it when something shows up that I wouldn't necessarily pick for myself, because that really kind of helps me grow. So that being said, you can, if you are subscribed to Bargain Bead Box, you can shop on their sister site, Bead Box Bargains, which even if you're not subscribed, you can still shop on. But if you are subscribed, then you get a 30% off coupon that you can use over and over again throughout the month to shop box extras. And then I sneezed like just before this live started, and it has congested me. So I apologize for the sniffles. I'm not sick. It's just that residual sneeze thing. But if you've got that 30% off coupon, you can shop on, like I said, box extras or all of the other beads and findings and components that they have on the website. Using that 30% off coupon makes a huge difference, particularly when you look at it as something that you can reuse. So you literally could use the coupon every single day of the month until the coupon changes, which is fantastic. I love that it's not just a one-time use coupon, because some companies do that. Now, speaking of the company in general, Beadbox Bargains and Bargain Bead Box is a small business, and they have absolute top-notch customer service. These guys really care about what they're doing. They take pride in their work. They take pride in the bargain bead box, in the bead box bargain sites. They take pride in dealing with any kind of issue that comes up in a really wonderful way. They're always sweet. They're always kind. They're always helpful. They're never rude. They're very quick to fix any kind of mistake that they ever make, which are not very often. And they always throw in a little something extra for your troubles if they do happen to miss something in your order. Overall, it is just a wonderful business, and I'm always happy to receive my shipment once a month. And I do use that 30% off coupon to stock up on things. I excuse me, I don't have a wholesale license or anything like that, so I use that 30% off coupon to make me feel like I'm shopping with a wholesale license. Sorry, the robot's driving me nuts today. Put him in the drawer. I use the site to stock up on things that I use for kits or just in general. I buy in bulk. It's wonderful whether you buy in bulk or you don't. I mean, that's just the bottom line here. So I might not be the best to compare, you know, shopping to, but I love the ability to get that 30% off, particularly when I buy in bulk. I like to stock up on their findings, bead caps, spacers. That's some of my favorite things to buy from their website. And a lot of times those are included in the box. So even if you don't buy from their site, you're still going to get a really well-rounded curation every single month, which is wonderful. Excuse me. My goodness. I need it to just go. Okay. So now that I have said all of that, in the comments, you're going to see I've got a coupon code. I've got an affiliate link. Please feel free to use both of those, either of those or none of those. It is completely up to you. Just know that if you do use my affiliate link, that I do receive a small commission off of any purchases that are made when you shop through that affiliate link. So I definitely appreciate it if you use it, but you don't have to. Okay, so this month's theme is Sunken Treasure, which I kind of hinted at a little while ago. I love a good ocean beachy themed anything. So this is really exciting, and I put together a bracelet project that's easy but was beautiful. So I hope that you enjoy all of this. We're going to go through the box or bag as it is. We're going to go through the bag here in just a second, and then we're going to put together an easy bracelet project. I hope I inspire you. I hope that you have a good time checking out their website. So I'm going to turn you guys around. And hello to everybody who is making their way in right now. All right. All right. Hi, Anita. Hi, Fatima. Cecilia's here. Kathy's here. Judy's here. Heather's here. Dawn says, don't forget to hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Oh my, it's so good to see you guys. All right, so Sunken Treasure, that's the name of the game. Now listen, some of these items I've already used in the project, so they're sitting off to the side here, so you're not going to get to see every single thing. I mean, you will, but maybe just not in the unboxing part of this. Okay, so hi Marlene. We're going to open this up and go through this. All right, so one of my favorite things in this box was the matte glass nugget beads in sea green. Guys, these, and a lot of mine I've already taken off of the strands too, by the way. These are very similar to sea glass, and I think that was the point here, was that they look very much like sea glass. This is what has me on a mission. I want some sea glass beads. I'm not necessarily looking for just nuggets of sea glass that are not drilled. I definitely want beads, but how pretty are these? First of all, it looks like they glow. Second of all, this green color is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. These are supposed to, like I said, look like sea glass. They're so pretty. And you know, sea glass comes in a lot of different colors. It's just really, really nice. So I'm in love with these for sure. Next up is another that is kind of sea glass looking. These are 4mm crystal matte faceted bicone beads in Capri Blue AB. These are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the matte with the AB. That's so pretty. And they have that kind of blue sea glass feel to them. So really, really pretty. You can see some of mine are loose. I tried a couple of project ideas before I settled on what we are ultimately going to make today. So that's why a lot of my beads are kind of loose and hanging around here. I love these. This is 8mm Mite. Miphenite, I'm not real sure how to say that, round beads. These are so pretty. So pretty. Check these out. They have like teal, green, blue, brown. They're just, I don't know. There's something about these. They look like little watercolor paintings to me. I thought they were absolutely beautiful. I used a handful of them, like just a couple of them in our project for today. So you're going to see some of these later. But I thought these were just really beautiful. And I would love to use these in another project. They kind of look like shell, right? Which I don't know. I don't know anything about Miphenite. I mean, because I guess they could be. I don't really know anything about them. I just know that they're pretty. And I thought they were a really nice addition to this. So, all right. Next up is some white lava stone. You guys know I love lava beads. And I never have enough white beads in my life. So this was a nice little addition here. These are 6mm beads. This is a 15-inch strand. They're very, very pretty. They definitely have that beach feel to them. And I love them because they're lightweight. You can wear these in the summertime on the hottest day. And they do not weigh you down and make you sweat. They're really, really nice. And of course, you can always put essential oils on these if you want to make them smell good, which is always a bonus. So super cute. Love those. All right. Next up is some Malaysian jade. This feels like this past year, like I know we're only in June, but there's been a lot of jade in my life this year. I don't know how you feel about it, but there's been a lot of jade in a lot of boxes, a lot of projects. I've just been seeing jade kind of everywhere. So this is Malaysian jade, frosted turquoise. This is a 14.5-inch strand. Again, another perfect beachy blue to go with our palette here. And I love that matte finish. So pretty. It's not, well, I mean, it's frosted, but I mean, that same thing. Matte, frosted, you know. Okay, next up is another beautiful green. These are a 6x4mm crystal matte faceted rondelle in teal. Another beautiful, the imitation like sea glass look here. Love a good rondelle. Those are so pretty. So pretty. These also have a nice large hole on them. So you could string these onto probably 0.5mm, maybe 1mm leather cord, maybe even bigger than that, leather or some larger stringing materials, which is nice because rondelles sometimes have a real small drill hole. So when I get some that have a larger drill hole, it's exciting because it opens up what is possible with them. So pretty. All right, let's see here. What else do we have as far as beads are concerned before we move on to some other items? All right, there were some 6mm glass window beads in coral orange. Now, I'm using these for our project, so every single one of these is set to the side, so I'll just show you 3 of them. This was my favorite bead in the box. I love these. They're super cute. You can see they have the little, they're called window beads because they have that like table cut round little surface on them. Super cute. Love this color so much. So these are off to the side. We're going to use these in our project, and I used all of them. In that same color family, another one of my absolute favorites is Carnelian. And you guys know I get excited anytime there is Carnelian. So these are 10mm Carnelian faceted round beads. Anytime I can get my hands on Carnelian, I get excited. And you add a facet to it, and I am just head over heels. So pretty. And I can use my 30% off coupon to go over to the website, and I can order as many strands of these as I want and use that 30% off coupon. So that's always really nice because I do love me some Carnelian. All right, sitting that to the side over here. All right, next up, another really cool bead that they included are some lava stone beads. These are with their nugget beads, with lava stone nugget beads with bronze plating. I love these. These are super cool. I just love lava beads in general because they're fun and they're lightweight, but the bronze finish on these makes these kind of sexy. Not gonna lie. These are kind of cool. And there's a bunch of them to use. So we're going to use 2 in our design, but that means I've got plenty left over to use for some other things. Set those right there. And that's not all of those. There's still more in the bag here. Let me try to reset the camera position here. All right, move my baggies out of the way. All right, now we're going to look at some other things that are included. Oh, can't leave out these. These are so cute. These glazed porcelain turtle beads. I wanted to use a turtle in my design today, and I didn't. I tried. I wanted to, and then ultimately I took the turtle out, but that's okay because it means that I still have 4 turtles that I can use for other things. Also, they have a really large hole, so again, you can put these on leather, which I think is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to make like a little leather ankle bracelet with these. I'm not sure, but I love, love, love the turtles. And I love that they're not in green. They're in this really cool tan color, which makes them a neutral that is going to work with everything. So that's really cool. Thought they were super cute. So there are our little turtles. All right, last bead that we have here is a metal bead. So these are bronze patina textured bicone beads. These are so, so pretty. You're going to see some more of this beautiful patina finish in a lot of the things that are included in the metal portion of the bag. Love that. So, so pretty. So I'm going to set those right there. All right. There were some bead caps. I have used a lot of these. These are going to be in the design, so that's why there's only 2 of them sitting here. These are patina bead caps. Beadbox Bargains is my #1 place to order bead caps. Bead caps and spacer beads, I stock up on them because the prices on them are so good. And then you use that 30% off. Yeah. So if you need metal in your life, that's a great resource for grabbing things like this and stocking up on them so that you've got plenty to work with. All right, next up are some shells. And there's actually 4 of these, but we're using one of them in our design. These are some shell charms, again, with that patina on them. They're so, so pretty. So make cute little earrings. We're going to use one as a dangle in our bracelet, but I've got leftovers here, so I could do a pendant with one of them and earrings with the other 2 if I wanted to. All right, we've got a beautiful pendant here. I love that everybody's looks different too. So we've got a flower Amazonite teardrop pendant. These are so cool. Everybody's looks different because obviously they're all, you know, they're all cut from a different, you know, part of the flower Amazonite. I think I scored a really good one. This one's got a lot of personality going on here. So you could wire wrap this. You could just string it on, pop a jump ring on it for a bail. Super cool. I love that. It's very beachy. Very, very beachy. All right, couple other metal components here. This is another one of my favorites. Got some bronze patina ornate crescent pendants. I have ordered these before from Beadbox Bargains without the patina. I gotta tell you, I am in love with the patina on these. So, so pretty. This is one of my favorite things to wire wrap teeny tiny little microfaceted beads too. And we've actually done that for a project in the past. But you see the little openings, the little holes that go all the way around? You can use some really thin wire and wire wrap teeny beany little sparkly beads all around the edges, or you can hang dangles from all of those little openings as well, or you can just leave it as it is. These are super cool. I love that you got 2 so that you can either use them each as a pendant or you could make earrings out of these. Are super, super cool. And that patina makes them so pretty. All right, we've got another big old focal here. We've got a 56 by 58 millimeter octopus pendant. How cool is that? Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. He's awesome. All by himself, he's awesome. Hang dangles from him, he's awesome. Wire wrap some fun things to him if you wanted to. Like, there's so much potential here. And he's just cool. He's just super, super. And I love how big he is. That's awesome. All right, couple of other metal things, and then we will be finishing up going through the box here. So there were some toggles And one of the toggles is going to be in our project. So I only have one here to look at the moment. Bronze toggle clasp. It was a set of 2. Very pretty. Bargain Bead Box. I'm sorry, Bead Box Bargains is another great place to stock up on clasps. They always have some really beautifully decorated toggles and other kinds of clasps. So if you're looking for something other than just a plain old lobster clasp, I would definitely check out the finding section on their website. Really pretty. Love this one. I love the texture. All right. Next up, we have Earwires, which is always a nice finding to get. And these are really pretty because they have this little shell motif on them. So they go with the theme. How cute are those? I love a good leverback or leverback earring because they're comfortable. So it's nice to have these included, but I love that they have the little shell because, you know, it goes with the theme. Super, super cute. All right, setting those to the side. Last 2 things are chain, which I adore getting. Every time I get a box and there's chain in it, I'm excited because it opens up some possibilities for what is possible. Now, I can always just grab chain on my own, but it's nice to have it included, particularly when they make sure that it matches the other metal components that are in the box. So there is, I believe, 1 meter of the chain here, and it is some really cool textured oval chain. Love that. And then last but not least are some ball head pins in this brass color. So again, it matches with everything. Another thing that I am always really happy to get in a box like this, when I get head pins or eye pins that match the rest of the metal, it's really nice because it means I don't have to dig through my own stash. I can use these. I don't have to hunt for it. I've got something that goes with what I've got in front of me already, which is nice. The ball on the end is always really appreciated. Sometimes getting your hands on ball head pins is hard to do because they can be really expensive. So I love that they included some of these. There were 20. We're going to use 1 in our design. So I still have plenty left over for earrings or other kinds of dangles. All right, so check it out. This is our box. Now there's 1 bead missing because, again, we're using all of these in our project. But this is right around the $20 mark, like give or take a couple of bucks. It's less than $25, all said and done. It's such a good value. And you can see not only is it broken down for you on the little baggies, but on your collection sheet, it breaks it all down for you to show you what everything would be individually. And it says the approximate total retail value for the shipment is $80.30. Guys, less than $25 for $80 worth of stuff. I think that's a pretty darn good value, particularly when you take into consideration you get a 30% off coupon to reorder extras or other things. You also have a curated selection here that has everything from beads to metal components. Like, that's a really, really good deal. So if you've not checked out Bargain Bead Box, I highly, highly recommend you giving it a try because I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. It's a great, great resource for getting a little treasure in the mail once a month, but then also having access to a great place to buy more beads and findings. So, all right, we're going to move on to the project. I've got a really pretty bracelet. Guys, this one is pretty straightforward. There's just some looping involved here. So I'm going to kind of move all of this stuff over here to the side. I won't make you sit with me while I rebag all of this. I will just kind of scoot it over here and I'll clean this mess up during my Art Beads meeting when this show is over. Give me my hands something to do while we're having a meeting. Okay. So we are going to put together a bracelet, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a bracelet or if I wanted to do a necklace. And I'm like, I've done a lot of necklaces here lately, so I felt like a bracelet was the right choice for this project. And this is the little mini color palette that I pulled from that overall larger palette. You can see I've got some of those funny little beads that I cannot remember how to say. Mayfinite, I don't know how to say it, but I liked those. And then those window beads and some carnelian. I've got some bead caps in here. and then everything that we're going to need to string this up. So the first thing we're going to do is separate everything out here so I can kind of see what I've got. So I've got my bead caps all set over here to one side. I'm going to set my carnelian out and get my Microfacet. I've got 2 of the little lava beads. All right, now the rest of this is a bunch of already wire wrapped. I'm pulling out the ones that are not wire wrapped. I think there were 4 little beads. There he is. Okay, this was the entire strand plus these 4 of the window cut window. What did we call them? I was trying to look over here on the sheet. The glass window beads in coral orange. That's what these were. So what I've done with all of these is I've put these onto head pins and I've put simple loops on them. We're going to do 4 of them, but I did the whole strand, just so you know. If you want to count them, you can. I'm not going to count them. Just know I used all of them. And I didn't use the ball head pins for this because there were more of these than I had head pins for in the box. But I am going to use one of those ball head pins for something else. But for me, I just used some that I had in my own stash. And I'm going to have to grab a couple more so that we can do these 4 together. So we're just going to do simple loops on these. Now, if you wanted to substitute simple loops for wrapped loops, you absolutely can. You don't have to do the simple loops. I know some people hate those, but I'm doing that on all of these little beads, right? And I've done most of them for you, but we'll do 4 together just so we can get a little practice with each other. And then we're going to string these up like a little cluster. Okay. All right. Let me grab my tools here. Okay. So I'm going to use, whoops, I'm not going to use anything because I'm going to throw it in the floor apparently. What happened to my bead? It's very hard to see that on the carpet. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So we're going to do simple loops. So let's walk through those steps here. I've threaded my bead onto my head pin. I'm going to grab the wire and bend it right where it is exiting the bead. So I'm not bending it over the top of the pliers. I'm just bending it right as it comes out of the bead. Then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off, leaving myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab that wire and I'm going to roll back to create my little loop. Now, the good news about this, even if you don't like these little simple loops, is that when this is all clustered together, you don't see these loops. So it doesn't matter if your loops look more like eggs than circles, or they look like some sort of variation of that. It's okay because you're not going to see any of them. All you want to be sure of is that you get a closed loop on this. It does not have to be a perfect little loop because you're never going to see it in the end. Okay. Hi, Wanda. All right. So rolling back to close up my loop. Okay. And we've got 2 more to do. All right. So bending the wire, coming in with our cutter tool, trim, coming in with our round nose pliers. Pull back. We're going to do 1 more. Cindy says, do you ever use the excess that you cut off? It depends. Sometimes I do. I do have a tendency sometimes to just kind of sweep it all into the trash can, but it kind of depends. If I've got a nice long piece like these, you can use these for other things. So I do kind of like to keep them when I've got plenty here because I can make smaller eye pins out of these. So if you want to set these to the side and save them, you can take your round nose pliers, you can grab the end of that and you can turn a loop, right? Just like that. And then you can just give it a little bend. And look, you've given yourself another little eye pin that you can use. So yeah, it's definitely a good idea if you've got a nice long section left over to save these. And if you just want to, like, you know, if you've got some free time, which I know none of us really have a lot of free time, but if you know, are just gonna watch some TV or something, you know, put on Netflix, put on some music and sit and go ahead and roll the ends of these and then just sit them to the side. They're already ready for your next project, which is really, really nice and a great way to not have tons of waste and reuse your leftovers. And look, they're really nice. So you got yourself a little eye pin. You can use them for other things too. You know, you've got little pieces of wire here. You could turn them into little components if you wanted to, but I love to recycle them and just turn them into extra eye pins because I will end up with a ton of them from doing something like this. So it's nice to save what's left. Good question. Good question. All right. So once you have put loops on all of those, you're going to sit these over to the side. Okay. And we are going to string up our project. So we're going to take some, that's a good rule of thumb. Wanda says, I always save any extra that is an inch or longer. Me too. Me too. If it's an inch or longer, if it's less than an inch, it's really not worth keeping. But when you do like loops like this with a regular, like 2-inch eye pin, you've definitely got good size leftovers for sure. Okay. So we are going to crimp our bead stringing wires. So I've got my wire guardian and I've got my crimp tube here. Whoops. And a jump ring that snuck in there. All right. I'm going to thread on my crimp and my wire guardian. So I'm going to go up through. Maybe. Let me retrim the end of this wire here. It's got a little fray on the end. It's not wanting to cooperate. There, much better. All right, up through the wire guardian, down through the wire guardian, and then down through our crimp. And if you're curious about my bead stringing wire, I'll show you. Hold on. I'm using bronze colored. .49 strand bronze color, and I'm using the 0.46 millimeter. The 0.46 is what I usually have on hand the most. I find that it fits most things, and it's not too thin and it's not too thick. It's really a good medium-sized diameter wire. Okay, so now making sure that my wires are not crisscrossing inside my crimp, coming in with my not my cutter tool, but my crimper tool here. I'm going to place that into the back notch and squeeze. And then I'm going to turn that sideways. I'm going to place that into the front notch and squeeze. And then I'm going to give it the tug test. Now, I want to say something really quickly because I think this is really important. People struggle with crimping all day, every day. I just got a brand new crimper tool. Mine's from Beadalon. That's always the crimper tool that I have is my Beadalon crimper tool. But I just got a new one, like brand new. It's got the new funny rubbery handle on it, which I really, really like. But other than that, it's exactly the same crimp tool. But I can tell you that having a brand new one made a humongous difference in my crimping. My old crimp tool, first of all, someone, not me, chewed on the end of it, and that's all well and good. It still worked regardless of that, but it was a little off center. You can see that gap. Of all of the times I've used this, you can see it's kind of marked up. There's a gap in it, so it didn't close properly. I'd had this for so long, but I didn't realize how badly I needed a new one until I got a new one. And now that I have a new one and it's nice and crisp and clean and closes the right way, y'all, it's made a huge, huge difference. So this one is going in the box. But a new one, if you're struggling and you've had a crimper tool for a million years, it might be time to invest in a new one. I'm just saying. That's all. Public service announcement over. I just wanted you to know that if you're struggling all of a sudden, or you are not having a good time with the crimping, maybe you need a new tool, because I did and I didn't even realize it. Okay. So now I'm going to string on some beads here. So I'm going to start with one of the tiny little lava beads. This is just going to serve as my end bead. A lot of times I'll put like a single metal bead at the end, but I didn't want to pull anything from outside of my bead box here. So I'm just using one of the little lava beads, which I love. It's nice and pretty. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread on a bead cap. And then I'm going to thread on a carnelian bead and then another bead cap. Wanda says the old crimper is going in the box. For what? Are you saving a crappy tool just in case? Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's honestly no good reason to keep it. You're not wrong. There's really no, I'll throw it in the garbage. Okay, and it'll go in the garbage. I promise. I should just go through all of my tools, because believe it or not, I have like 15 cutter tools that need to go in the garbage can. And I don't know why I don't throw them away. It's just like, there's just some reason why I can't. I'm like, well, maybe I'll use them for cutting something. I don't know what, but all right. Next up, I'm going to use one of the Microfacet beads. And guys, I don't know that I'm saying that right. I don't know, but we're just going to go with it. Okay. And then I'm going to do another little bead cap and carnelian section. Oh, I love it. Wanda calling me out on my crap here. Just why are you keeping them? I know. I don't know. I don't really have a good reason. In case I have 50 people over that all need to crimp at the same time. That is never going to happen, but you never know, just in case, right? Just in case. I don't know. All right. I'm going to put another one of the Microfacet beads. I have no good reason, Wanda. I have no good reason. Oh gosh. Right? Heather does too. She says, I save old tools too, just in case. I love it. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to do another carnelian. Now I'm going to string on this whole cluster. Okay, so this is what we've got pattern-wise, which is such a pretty color palette. I love, 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 love. Wanda says, in case people come over, I'll give them a crappy tool. They'll love that. Okay. I have no, I give up. White flag. I'm raising the flag. I will throw away my crappy tools. Okay. I'm going to thread on every single one of these little simple loops. I'll even take photographic evidence, because Wanda's not wrong. She's not wrong. They're just taking up space. And I'm never going to have 50 people in this little tiny studio to put together 50 pieces of jewelry where all of them are going to need a crappy cutter tool all at the same time, or need to crimp all at the same. That's never going to happen. She's so right. She's so right. I just need to throw it away. And you know what? If I go through all of those old tools, it will open up. We'll open up a new box that I can put other things in. I love it. And Wanda is not letting anybody come to my rescue. She says, do not encourage this behavior. Sarah gets her tools for free. She needs to let go of the junky tools. I really do. I really do. I have no excuses. No excuses. All right. Threading all of these on. I love it. I love it. I'm not going to put them in the box. There's no reason for it. Future Sarah is not going to go to the box and be like, you know what? I need this really warped crimper out of this box. I'm going to put it on my desk and use it every day. No, I'm not. I'm not. That's not going to happen. Am I ever going to teach a class where I need 15 really warped crimper tools? No. If I ever had the opportunity to teach a class, I would borrow tools from Beadalon and they would be brand new. And I would borrow them and then send them back. Oh, man. Tina says, when you can, will you tell us how you feel about the magical crimper? You know what? I don't think I have I do have a magical crimper around here somewhere. It's in the box. I honestly don't know how I feel about it, because I always just kind of use my standard crimper tool. But I should get it out of the box and use it and then give you my opinion. But the fact that it's in the box is probably not a good sign. So I don't know. I'll dig it out though. All right, so there's our cluster. And my cluster is going to be in the middle of my bracelet. Now, normally I make asymmetrical. I love it. I usually make asymmetrical designs because I'm just not a symmetrical kind of person. Clearly I have issues. But for this bracelet, I thought the cluster looked better in the center, just so that when you wear it, the cluster is on the top. Not that it stays that way because it's a bracelet and it moves around, but design wise, I liked the cluster in the middle. Now you can put your cluster wherever you want to, or you can break this up. If you don't like that big cluster, take little sections of this, like 5 or 6 beads at a time, and you can pop those in between other bigger beads if you want to. So you don't have to put it together exactly like this, but just know that this is what your beads look like if you put them all on head pins, or I'm sorry, eye pins, and then, or no, they are on head pins, and make little eyes with your pliers. This is what they'll look like all clustered together. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to finish off the pattern here. And so I'm going to put my carnelian bead on that side, and then I'm just going to repeat everything here. Okay. So there's that. Our bead cap. You do have to have special crimps for that tool. And I do have one somewhere. I will find it. I will get it out and I will use it, and let you know how I feel about it. I honestly, I say, oh, there's probably a bad reason that it's in the box. And, honestly, that's not true. It's in the box because it's not a bead-along tool, and just generally speaking, bead-along is, that they take very good care of me, so I stick with the bead-along tools. And the magic crimper is not a bead-along tool. That doesn't mean that I don't have it and that I have not used it. I do not remember what my opinion of it was, though, so I do owe it to you to give you an answer for sure. So, all right, so now I'm just going to finish this off with one of the little lava beads, and then we're going to crimp, and we are going to do a couple little dangles and put our toggle on here, and we will be done. And this is a beautiful little bracelet. This could be a beautiful front of a necklace too. So I hope that I'm inspiring you. All right, so I'm going to thread on my crimp. I'm going to thread on my wire guardian. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Jane says, Jane and Wanda, I swear, like those are my designated drivers in life. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, not because I am drinking. Clearly you might think so with me giggling like I am, but the two of them keep me in line. Jane says, I need to simmer down. Wanda's got me flustered. She probably has her own stash of old tools. She probably does. But that is between you and Wanda. All right, so up through my wire guardian, down through my crimp, and then I am going to crimp. I'm going to place that into the back notch of the crimper tool, give that a squeeze, and then I'm going to turn it sideways and put that into the front notch of the crimper tool and give that a squeeze. Give that the tug test, and then if you want to cut this off right there, you can. Or you can tuck this through a bead just so that it doesn't sit off centered and then cut it. I don't always have the room to do that, but I think I'm going to here. if I can. How many of the cluster beads? So I don't know the exact number, but I used the entire little strand that I got in the bead box. So I'm not sure exactly how many that was, but I can tell you that it was an 8-inch strand of 6mm beads, if that's helpful in any way. I can't seem to get that to go through this bead for some reason. Jane says, simmer down, simmer down. Hold on. Sometimes I can get it through that last bead and sometimes I can't. This might be a scenario where I just can't. So I'm not going to fight with it. I'm just going to cut it off. Sometimes I like to go through that last bead though, just because it makes the crimp sit more straight up and down than sideways. So, but overall, you really don't even notice it once you've got everything together here. Okay, so now we're going to put on our toggle and I'm going to add some dangles to this. So I've taken one of those little shell charms. I've put a jump ring on it. I'm going to take one of the metal beads and one of the ball head pins, and I'm going to do a wrapped loop, and I'm going to make this a little dangle too. So I'm going to come in with my pliers, grab the wire right where it is exiting that bead. I'm going to bend. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. Ooh, you like that beading wire, Jane? It is bronze color. It's a really nice color. It works really good with, it's a great neutral, but it looks really good with like antique brass and gold. Love it. Up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then I'm going to wire wrap in that space. Ooh. I need to go through my tools now. All right, and then I'm going to come in with my cutter and I'm going to trim off the excess here. Okay. So I've made a little dangle out of one of the metal beads, which I really like a lot. Okay, now I'm going to attach everything. So I'm going to take a jump ring here. And I'm going to thread that on to one of the ends. It doesn't matter which end, it's up to you. Okay. And I'm going to close that back. Now my little charm has already got a jump ring on it, and I'm going to put a jump ring on the metal bead as well, just so that they kind of hang the same distance. I don't know. To me, it just looked funny with one of them with a jump ring and one of them without. So put a little jump ring on those, and I actually need to open this jump ring back up. Sorry about that, because these are going to go onto that. Okay, so I'm going to thread on the metal bead, I'm going to thread on the charm, I'm going to close that back. Then I'm going to open another jump ring. Right. Ooh, I like that, Wanda. Wanda says the cluster makes her think of a sea anemone. I like it. I see that too. All right, so another jump ring, and this is going to go to my toggle loop, my toggle ring, whatever you want to call it. Close that back. And then we're going to put our toggle bar on the other side, and we are done. This box did come with patina elements, some really beautiful ones. Really, really liked it. All right, so here is our bracelet, our finished piece. It's very beachy. I mean, obviously, but I don't know. There's something about it that I just really, really like that doesn't, like, I don't know, maybe if I took the shell off, I could wear this all year. It doesn't just have to be a beachy summertime design. I think is kind of the point I was trying to make when I was saying this is beachy, but yeah, it is beachy, but you 100% could take the charm off and make this in any time you wanted to bracelet, just because the color palette is so nice. Now, I know not everybody loves this color palette. Some people do not like this orange color at all. I know, but it's one of my favorites, but some people don't like it. But alternatively, you could use from the box, you could use the green faceted rondelles to make your cluster. You could use the white lava beads to make your cluster. You could even use the little bicones here to make your cluster. Honestly, you can make a cluster out of absolutely anything, but I kind of like to use 6mm or smaller beads when I'm making a cluster, just so that it doesn't get too heavy. And this bracelet, because the cluster is not huge, is not extra heavy, which is nice. So it's a comfortable piece to wear. Also, generally speaking, we don't like to put wire like wrapped loops or simple loops directly onto bead stringing wire because of the abrasion that happens. However, when you cluster all of them together, they don't move independently anymore, right? They all kind of lock together in this kind of puzzle. So it's not spinning constantly on that bead stringing wire, and I don't have to worry about the abrasion that is going to happen there. So I don't worry that it's the hard wire right up against the bead stringing wire. Just in case you're curious, because we did kind of break that rule in this piece, but it works because this functions as like one big bead. So there you go. I hope you enjoy this project. I think it's a beautiful bracelet. You can recreate it yourself, or you can change it up however you want to. Hopefully I've inspired you and reminded you about the clusters, because we haven't done a cluster in a really, really long time. It's been a while. Like, I'm thinking back when I was doing the JTV lives, I think that's the last time I've done a cluster like this. So just keep in mind that you can make smaller clusters. You can turn them sideways. You can make little clusters for earrings or whatever. They can always be a fun little additional 3-dimensional element to add to your projects. Love, love, love. All right, looking back here. Heather says, do you come up with all of these designs yourself? Yeah, I mean, obviously I take inspiration from everywhere. Let me turn y'all around. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm the first person in the entire world to ever come up with a cluster. No. Well, I mean, when you look at it that way, I mean, it's not original. But now how you put it all together is, for sure. I mean, there wasn't anybody else here sitting with me that said, ooh, put this bead next to this bead, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I take inspiration from a lot of different places. I have a color palette board on Pinterest that I go to all the time to pick out color palettes, because sometimes I struggle with color on my own, and having some sort of resource like that really helps. But I am inspired by all of you guys and all of your designs and all of the things that get posted in the community. I get really inspired by other designers. There was a fly flying by. I'm not totally crazy. There was a fly there. I'm inspired by other designers, my team members and their designs. And like, so I draw from everybody, and use that kind of, to come up with the things that I like. But I do have a style, and I think people can tell when they see a Sarah design out there in the world that, if you've been with me for a while, the things that I make the most. And that's to my detriment, to be honest with you, because I've had people on YouTube in particular, most people here are very kind. But YouTube people who have never seen me before, that'll go through my old videos and they're like, you do the same thing over and over again. It's not that I do the same thing over and over again. I just like what I like, you know what I mean? And so I'll take certain styles that I like and make, remake those with different beads and different elements and different things. It's the same thing with like our Feel Good Friday shows. A lot of times I'll repeat a design, but with different beads, because it makes it look totally different. And I do those over and over again because they sell. And obviously I'm also here to make money. So there's a lot of different things that go into why I choose the things that I do. But overall, for a Tuesday project or for a Patreon project, I just do what I like. You know, I do me, you do you, I do me. We, you know, my big banner for Sarah Lovecraft Designs is be you. And that is all I can say. It's just be you. I don't know how to be anybody else. And I'm a piece of all of the other great, amazing designers that I draw inspiration from around me. So speaking of Patreon, before we go, I just want to let you guys know that Patreon is always open for enrollment. $10 a month will get you exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. You won't find it on YouTube. You won't find it on Facebook. It will, it is exclusive just to you, and it will inspire you. So if you would like to be a part of the Patreon community, we are very close to 250 members on Patreon, which is incredible considering I only expected there to be like 30 people there. So I very much underestimated how big Patreon was going to be. So if you want to be a part of that community, I definitely would like to ask you to come and be a part of that. Let me show you what our Patreon project for this week was. We put together this gorgeous macrame necklace project that is, it's adjustable. It's so pretty. So that's what our Patreon projects are all about. They're not super hard projects. They're just beautiful projects using things that I have in my own stash and inspiring you to do the same. So if you'd like to be a part of Patreon, I would love for you to do that. I think that is it. There may be some schedule changes for next week, but I will let you know those on Friday. So set your reminders for Friday, 1 p.m. for our Feel Good Friday show. That is our favorite way to finish out the week. Hardwired will be meeting today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And that's it, guys. I'll see Hardwired later. I'll see the rest of you on Friday for our Feel Good Friday show. And if I don't see you again between now and then, have a great rest of your week. And I will see you on Friday. I love you guys.